Tonight on News Watch, as cleanup continues from Monday's storms, state leaders are warning of predatory contractors. What they want you to know.
Plus, the story of a World War II sailor begins a new chapter. We'll have the story of a homecoming decades in the making. Emily?
Temperatures have been cooler in the Midwest the past few days, and that trend is going to continue due to multiple chances of rainfall coming up. I'll have the full details on a cooler and rainy week ahead coming up. This is News Watch, and your Thursday evening's edition starts now.
The Charleston House proudly supports Newswatch. Now welcoming guests on Charleston's historic 6th Street, the Charleston House Bed and Breakfast Inn offers refined accommodations in a beautifully restored bed and breakfast. For booking information, visit craigcollection.com or call the number on screen.
TCI Realty, Charleston area's real estate connection, commercial, land and farm, and residential real estate. Experienced realtors with an up-to-date website at tcirealty.net. TCI Realty supports the students of WEIU Newswatch.
A teen faces weapon charges after a Tuesday shooting in Champaign. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Andrew Spade.
And I'm Austin Perez. Champaign police say they arrested a 16-year-old juvenile this morning. He faces multiple charges, including aggravated battery with a firearm. Authorities say the juvenile shot an 18-year-old man in the 100 block of North Mattis Avenue near a Schnucks grocery store and then fled the scene. The shooting occurred Tuesday evening just before 7. Authorities say the victim was taken nearby and taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. 5 people are displaced after home fire in Decatur yesterday. Decatur firefighters responded just afternoon Wednesday to that fire at a home on East Division Street. Crews found heavy flames coming from the kitchen windows when they arrived, and they say no one was home and no injuries were reported. However, they say 1 woman and 4 children were displaced. They say the American Red Cross has been contacted to help those displaced, and fire officials are investigating the cause of that fire.
A former University of Illinois police officer has been convicted of sexual assault. In 2020, authorities arrested Gerald Sandage of Leroy. At the time, University of Illinois police investigators said it's likely Sandage misused law enforcement resources, and they say further investigation led to several sexual assault charges. Court records show yesterday a Champaign County jury found Sandage guilty on 2 counts of sexual assault. Records show he faces additional charges in other cases that are still pending. Area police are asking you to keep an eye out for a missing teen. Taylorville police say 14-year-old Juliana Faber has family in the area, and she was reported missing on April 27th. 2026 from Addison, Illinois, near Chicago. Police say Faber is female and has red or auburn shoulder-length hair, brown eyes, and a nose ring. If you have information on her whereabouts, you're asked to contact Addison Police or call 1-800-THE-LOST. Severe weather season is here, and so are storm-chasing scammers. Illinois Attorney General Kwame Raoul says businesses and homeowners dealing with damage from severe storms are often targets for scammers posing as a quick fix. He says these scammers pressure people into making quick, expensive decisions about cleanup and construction work. Raoul says scammers may also act as insurance adjusters to submit a claim to the property owner's insurance company. The Attorney General says residents should never rush into any deal and do their due diligence when researching contractors. He also cautions residents to get any work plans in writing, never pay in cash, and never pay until the work is complete.
We may have saw a break from the rain today, but more rain is on its way, and some of it has begun to fall in a few counties across our area already. But as you look across our nation's map, we're seeing rain that's affecting us tonight, but more chances of rain are on their way, and that's going to come as we finish up this weekend because these rain systems are moving slowly. You can see those clouds building in the background here across Eastern's campus. That chance for rain is going to continue as we move overnight tonight, but throughout the daytime today, we saw high temperatures only in the low 60s, a high temperature of 61 degrees here in Charleston, getting up to 63 degrees down in Robinson and 64 down in Effingham. But as we move overnight tonight, we're going to see those temperatures drop down to a low temperature of 45 degrees. Once again, a chance for scattered rain showers, the majority of the heavier rain falling in the late evening hours, but winds will be blowing out of the northwest, which will cause temperatures to be a little bit cooler overnight, but also tomorrow getting only into the 50s. That's a first look at your Skywatch forecast. Now back to the desk.
Thank you, Emily. Illinois officials are listing allegations of serious misconduct against federal immigration agents. The Illinois Accountability Commission has officially presented its final report detailing alleged abuses tied to Operation Midway Blitz. The commission says investigation uncovered patterns of excessive force and unlawful conduct by federal immigration agents operating in the Chicago area. The report highlights incidents including shootings and aggressive enforcement tactics targeting residents. The commission has now submitted the report to several law enforcement agencies, including the Cook County State's Attorney, urging review and a possible criminal investigations. Governor J.B. Pritzker says the goal is clear and accountability for justice for those will be had.
Beyond the headlines and the propaganda are real people, members of our communities, whose lives were and continue to be upended by the chaos that's been brought by the federal government. We cannot be quiet until there is accountability and justice.
The report also includes recommendations aimed at preventing future misconduct. Federal authorities have not yet indicated whether they will have that action taken. A local sailor killed in the Pearl Harbor attack is finally heading home. The Defense Prisoner of War Missing in Action Accounting Agency announced yesterday that they have identified the remains of U.S. Navy Seaman First Class Wayne Newton from Terre Haute, Indiana. Newton was assigned to the battleship USS California, which was at Ford Island, Pearl Harbor in 1941. The ship was then attacked by a Japanese aircraft, sustained multiple torpedo and bomb hits, and then caught fire and flooded, resulting in the deaths of 103 crewmen. Many of them, including Newton, were labeled as non-recoverable. However, Newton's identity was only found recently using evidence such as dental, anthropological, and isotope analysis. Defense officials say Newton will have a funeral and will be buried in his hometown of May 16th of this year.
Plans are now underway in Quincy to honor a historic figure in American Catholic history. The Diocese of Springfield has announced it will build a shrine dedicated to Father Augustine Tolton at the historic St. Boniface Church. The church, which closed in 2020, will be restored and transformed into a place of prayer, reflection, and pilgrimage. Father Tolton, widely recognized as the first black priest in the United States, celebrated his early ministry in central Illinois and is currently on the path to sainthood. Church leaders say the shrine will also feature a museum highlighting his life and legacy. Fundraising efforts are now underway to bring the project into completion. The city of Champaign launches a project over a year in the making. On Monday, the city of Champaign's new website went live after the previous one from 2015 could no longer meet demands. One of the website's main priorities is giving more accessible online services, ensuring community members can easily access information and services. It also includes improved navigation and more flexible homepage and a consistent look throughout all the pages. And in recent years, the city has been relying on digital services more, with the website seeing around 1.2 million page views last year. Drivers in Mattoon should plan for delays as crews continue to work along Charleston Avenue. The Illinois Department of Transportation says crews are removing the top layer of pavement from Logan Street to 6th Street starting Friday. Workers will begin to add a new layer of asphalt on that section, and that work is expected to last through Tuesday. After that, crews will move west from 6th Street and repeat the process. Officials say drivers should expect lane closures, construction traffic, and delays while work continues. Meanwhile, major road work begins soon in Champaign. City officials say construction begins Monday on South Mattis Avenue from Windsor Road to Curtis Road. The improvements include new pavement, curbs, storm sewers, lighting, and paths for pedestrians and bicyclists. Construction for the $8.5 million project is expected to run into December, and drivers should always expect delays and detours as work is being completed.
Area high school students will pitch their business ideas this weekend as they compete for cash prizes in Champaign. The Champaign Public Library is hosting a Young Entrepreneur Program Pitch competition this Sunday afternoon from 2 to 5 p.m. Students will present their ideas to a panel of local entrepreneurs during National Small Business Week. The first place winner will receive $5,000, second place earns $2,000, and third place taking home $1,000. Library officials say the event helps turn young entrepreneurs and their dreams into reality. The competition is open to the public, and organizers say community members should and can attend this event to help support the next generation of business leaders. Another local library is announcing the completion of a new feature in their building. The Monroe Public Library has added a new mural to their children's area done by local artist Percy Irons. The mural is themed after transportation, featuring airplanes, helicopters, and hot air balloons. It also features interactive wall elements to encourage fine motor play. The library says this mural is part of their commitment to providing enriching and a welcoming space for children and their families. Well, hopefully we can expect some picture-perfect weather soon.
I see what you did there. Emily's back with a look at her forecast.
Well, if your definition of perfect weather includes rain and cooler temperatures, I have good news for you. But rain will return to the forecast tonight and for parts of next work week, causing temperatures to stay cooler. I'll have the full details coming up.
A tense and technically challenging rescue situation amid raging floodwaters forced Texas rescuers to get creative by getting jumper cables involved. Officers with the White Settlement Police Department responded to reports of a woman and 3 kids in a car trapped in rushing floodwaters. Rescuers got the children to safety, but the woman was trapped in the front of the car, which was teetering toward the fast-moving waters.
I need something to get wrapped around her.
A quick-thinking officer grabbed a pair of jumper cables and used them as an improvised lifeline, instructing the woman to anchor herself with the cables in case she was swept away. Fire officials soon arrived and pulled the vehicle back from the brink, and all 4 family members were brought to safety and unharmed. You know, it doesn't have to be full-on storming for there to be an imminent threat. Just take it from meteorologist Tyler Eliason of Tennessee, who shared video of a sudden lightning strike in a Memphis area parking lot. No one appeared to be harmed by the shocking turn of events, but Eliason used it to warn followers that sometimes lightning strikes can happen miles away from their parent thunderstorms. Finally, from a shocking bolt to a snoozin' bear. That is what Colorado Springs firefighters had to deal with when they were alerted to a bear stuck in a tree and zonked out, which they say were Colorado Parks and Wildlife officials' exact words. With a little teamwork and patience, they were able to get the sleepy fella down before safely relocating it. And don't worry, it was no worse for wear, save for a little bear bedhead. 5 more minutes, Mom. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
High temperatures today only got up into the lower 60s with a high temperature of 61 degrees here in Charleston. But as you look behind me here across Eastern's campus, you're seeing heavy cloud cover and possible rain as we move overnight tonight. Now that's going to continue as we move throughout the nighttime. Scattered rain showers are expected as we move overnight, along with a drop in temperatures, a low temperature of 45 degrees overnight tonight. Part of that is due to the winds that will be blowing out of the northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour, and that's going to be the case for tomorrow too, keeping temperatures a little bit cooler. Now, like I said, rain is already moving into our viewing area, but that's not the only rain we can expect, because as we look off to the west, we're seeing even more chances of rain begin to make their way to the east and eventually affecting us here as we move throughout the weekend. But overnight tonight, we are expected to see this rain starting soon. The heaviest part of this rain, though, will be occurring around 9 p.m. overnight tonight, and that will be continuing, but it will clear up as we move into the morning hours, leaving us with mostly clear skies for your morning on Friday. And those clouds won't stay clear for long, because we will be seeing building clouds throughout the daytime, mostly clear skies in the morning hours, but mostly cloudy skies by the time we make it to the afternoon. And that's due to another chance of rain that we will be seeing soon. But for your daytime on Friday, we're seeing a high temperature of just 56 degrees, a little bit cooler, partially due to the rain overnight tonight, but also due to the winds that will be blowing out of the northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour in the morning, and then 10 to 15 miles per hour in the afternoon, eventually into the evening hours as well. So you're going to be seeing those building clouds. Eventually, by Saturday, you're going to see partly cloudy skies, so it will clear up a little bit. High temperature still in the 50s, though, on Saturday as you start off your weekend. A high temperature of 54 degrees on Saturday. We will see a warm-up on Sunday with a high temperature of 64 degrees, but there is a possibility for overnight rain as we move overnight Sunday. Eventually, that will continue into Monday morning, but the heavy chance for rain will be overnight Monday night. But for your daytime on Monday, we're going to be seeing a high temperature of 73 degrees, which is actually going to be the highest temperature we're going to see for the next 7 days. But we're going to see this rain chance be scattered throughout the daytime on Monday, but the heaviest rain chance will be overnight Monday night, which will cause temperatures to drop down. Now, we've seen quite a bit of rain throughout the month of April. In total for April, we're seeing just over 6.5 inches of rain. And the shocking part about this is that just over 3 inches of that was in the last 4 days. So here in East Central Illinois, we've almost completely gotten rid of our drought here on the drought monitor. Just a little blip of dry up in Champaign County. But just because the upper Midwest isn't struggling with drought, we are still seeing drought over in the Great Plains and in southern Illinois and south. So there are other locations still struggling with this drought, even though we've been seeing a lot of rain. Now, this rain has caused our temperatures to be a little bit cooler recently, but another reason for these temperatures a little bit cooler is because of our upper level jet stream. You can see we're under a trough of colder air as we move into Friday. That trough is going to stay over top of us on Saturday. And finally, on Sunday, we're going to see that trough push off to the east, and we're going to see a slight ridge of warmer air move over top of us, which is why we're seeing temperatures warm up on Sunday and warm up on Monday as well. But those temperatures will be dropping right back down again due to the rain chance that we're seeing on Monday. So for the next 6 to 10 days, we are expected to be below average for this time of year. And now, because of that, the average is typically in the low 70s. And looking past that on the next 7 days, we're seeing those temperatures quite a bit cooler than that average. May 1st, tomorrow on Friday, with high temperatures only in the 50s as we start our weekend, eventually warming up into the 60s on Sunday with a high temperature of 64. We will see a chance for rain as we move overnight, and continuing into Monday morning, but that rain on Monday will be scattered before we see a heavier chance of rain Monday night. High temperatures will drop down due to that chance for thunderstorms Monday night, with high temperatures back into the 50s for your Tuesday and Wednesday, with a high temperature of 57 degrees on Wednesday, with another chance of rain before we slightly warm up again.
It seems like only in Illinois we can have weather for like sunbathing and suntanning, and then now we got flooded basements, and now we have weather in the 50s. I mean,
April showers don't bring Mayflowers, they bring cold weather. Thank you, Emily. Now it's time for sports.
That's right, Andrew. The Chicago Cubs have been picking up wins left and right and wrap up a trip out west. I'll have last night's highlights up next. Thank you for watching. Your WEIU Sports Watch report is coming up next.
The exact number of autoimmune diseases is still unclear. They're difficult to diagnose, there's no test to confirm you have one, and symptoms frequently overlap with other diseases. But researchers believe that there are between 80 to 150 autoimmune diseases. Many are chronic, debilitating, and require one or more daily medications. Dr. Alicia Lieberman with Roswell Park Comprehensive Cancer Center is currently leading research into whether a breakthrough cancer immunotherapy called CAR T-cell therapy, which genetically engineers a donor or patient's own T-cells to attack cancer cells, could do the same for autoimmune diseases. While it's still early in clinical trials, she says it's showing promise. Lieberman says the goal of this research is to have a one-and-done treatment that could train a patient's body to fight back against the disease. For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
After taking the series win over UT Martin, Eastern Illinois baseball faces an in-state opponent in Bradley for a midweek showdown. The EIU Bats came out in full force as the Panthers scored double-digit runs for the 14th time this season. An explosive second inning led by Brett Stanley and Mike O'Connor saw Eastern score 5, and they never looked back. On the mound, Max Zawodzkowski keeps up the hot streak, earning his second win of the season. Up next for EIU, they'll face SEMO for a 3-game weekend series, and we'll have a little surprise about that tomorrow night. Moving things to the high school level, the Charleston baseball team faces off against their local rivals, the Mattoon Green Wave. Mattoon enters this game on a 13 losing streak, as it doesn't get any better for the Green Wave as they fall in this game 12-1. The Trojans improve their season record with the win as they now move to 13-3. We haven't seen that in a while. Wyatt Gorton played a huge role in the win for the Trojans, notching 2 home runs in the win. The two teams will face off in a rematch tonight, and Sports Watch will, of course, have a full recap on tomorrow's edition. As for some other local IHSA games last night, Tuscola fell short against Clinton 2-0 as they get their 5-game win streak snapped. Effingham St. Anthony wins a nail-biter against Windsor Stu Strauss 8-7 in extras, and Neoga got their way back into the win column, beating the Arcola Purple Riders 5-4. And finally, number 6 ranked Tolono Unity notched a 9-0 shutout against Pontiac. After dropping 2 straight to Mount Zion last week, Charleston High School softball hopes to bring the season back on track against Robinson. But unfortunately, the Maroons came out the gate swinging heavy as they got on top with a strong second inning, scoring 3 runs. Next inning, the Trojans would get across the home plate twice, but in the end, it's not enough as Robinson takes the home win 6-4. Up next for Charleston, it's rivalry time with a doubleheader against Mattoon High. First game tomorrow is at 4:30 p.m., while the second game is at 5:45. We'll have the full coverage tomorrow. Now at the pros, the Chicago Cubbies have the chance for a series win as they close out a West Coast trip. Chicago is up by 1 early on. Now in the top of the 4th inning, PCA absolutely belts this ball, and it's Pete Crow long gone. Cubs are up by 3. Now in the bottom of the 5th, Miguel Andujar knocks one deep to left, finally getting the Padres on the board. But 2 batters later, it's Nick Castellanos with a deep fly ball to left field. This one's now at 3 apiece. PCA rips it straight at first base Michael Conforto, and he gets home as he evades the tag, giving the Northsiders the lead once again. Matt Shaw adds on to that with a solo homer in the 8th inning, paving the way for a series victory over San Diego, closing out their West Coast trip with a 3-3 record. Not too bad for Cali. Up next, the Cubbies will be back at Wrigley tomorrow, starting a 3-game series against the Arizona Diamondbacks. Many well-known names in sports have been known to spend their college years in Champaign. Now, the Illini's newest Hall of Fame class has been announced. The newest class of recognized alumni includes names like Minnesota T-Wolves star Ayo Dosunmu, former NFL running back Howard Griffith, 2001 Big Ten champion Brandon Lloyd, and 2-time Olympian Jordan Palter, to name a few. Ayo was made a new member of the Minnesota at the trade deadline this season and is coming off a clutch 43-point Game 4 in the playoffs against Denver. While playing in football for the Illini, Howard Griffith set the NCAA single-game record for touchdowns with 8 against SIU. Can you believe that? He'd go on to win Super Bowls 32 and 33 with the Denver Broncos. Finally tonight, Eastern Illinois men's track and field collected 2 conference awards following the Panthers' performances this past weekend. Malik Bush was named the Male Field Athlete of the Week, and Makai Nelson is named the Male Freshman of the Week. Bush competed in 2 events and resulted in a first-place effort in the long jump. Nelson placed 7th in the long jump and posted a 13th place finish in the high jump. And that's all for sports tonight. Back to the desk.
Thank you, Austin. Still to come, Emily Davis returns with a final check of a chilly May forecast. But first, we'll tell you the story of 2 new furry friends on display at California's Aquarium of the Pacific. Thanks for watching. This is Newswatch on WEIU.
The revival of Evita, starring Rachel Zegler, is coming to Broadway. The production, directed by Jamie Lloyd, was a big hit last year in London, with Zegler winning multiple awards for her performance. It's due to hit Broadway in the spring of 2027.
This is a little overwhelming.
Claire Danes is lovesick. The Emmy-winning actress is set to star in and executive produce a new romantic drama series by that title for Netflix. It's based on the Israeli series The Best Worst Thing. Danes will play a breast cancer surgeon who receives her own cancer diagnosis.
No one could stand between my men and home.
The Odyssey is the latest epic from a filmmaker known for them, Christopher Nolan. But apparently that doesn't mean it'll be epically long. Nolan said recently it's shorter than his longest film, the Oscar-winning Oppenheimer, which ran 3 hours. The Odyssey unspools in theaters July 17th. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
And finally tonight, a new baby sea otter and its surrogate mother are now on display at California's Aquarium of the Pacific. The otter pup Sunny was found orphaned and deemed non-releasable, but for sure adorable. Since arriving at the aquarium, she's been socializing with a new adult female, Ray, and the two have since bonded. The hope is that Sunny will eventually become a surrogate mother herself and help orphan pups return to the ocean. How sweet. And now back at home, local forecaster Emily Davis joins us with a final check of the Skywatch forecast.
We're expecting rain overnight tonight, but for tomorrow we're going to see a high temperature a little bit cooler with a high of just 56 degrees tomorrow, partially due to that rain that will be moving in overnight, but also due to the winds blowing out of the northwest throughout the daytime tomorrow. But after that, we're going to see high temperatures in the 50s to start off your weekend. A little warm up on Sunday before a chance of rain overnight Sunday night. Now that'll continue into Monday morning with scattered showers throughout the day on Monday, but the chance for heavier rain will be overnight Monday night with the possibility of thunderstorms, but then that'll cause temperatures to drop right back down into the 50s for next work week.
I don't think Sunny the Otter would like East Central Illinois right now. Too cold.
Well, a lot of rain would make, if they warmed up a little, we had a lot of rain, I think maybe they could get a little company here.
Too cold.
Oh, okay, whatever you say. Thanks, Emily, and thank you for joining us tonight. For more news and weather, be sure to log on to our website at WEIU.net.
There you can find real-time forecast and the news video of the day. If news is happening in your community, let us know by dropping us an email at news@WEIU.net.
Have a good night.
The Charleston House proudly supports Newswatch. Now welcoming guests on Charleston's historic 6th Street, the Charleston House Bed and Breakfast Inn offers refined accommodations in a beautifully restored bed and breakfast. For booking information, visit craigcollection.com or call the number on screen.
TCI Realty, Charleston area's real estate connection. Commercial, land and farm, and residential real estate. Experienced realtors with an up-to-date website at tcirealty.net. TCI Realty supports the students of